What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at Bitcoin on the one-day chart. Right now we're sitting at 10,336. And what we're going to do today is look at some of the resistance levels that we have to break through. And I also want to talk to you all about this potential golden cross here. And this is going to be our 50 crossing over our 200 moving average. And I want to dig into a little bit of data on that for you guys. So if you get some from these videos when I do them, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, and we're going to dig into this. So first of all, I wanted to start with the potential of this golden cross if we are to get it. This golden cross would be our 50 crossing over our 200. Last time this took place, I want to show you this here. We're going to get out our price range. So as soon as that cross took place, we ended up going up roughly around almost 200%. So the reason why I wanted to show this to you, things don't always work out the same, but a lot of the time in this space you can really learn from history. So if we pull this down and we take our price meter right here and we go up close to around that 200, I'm actually going to have to drag this down a little bit. If we could get a 200% break again to the upside, we would be looking somewhere up around that $26,000, $27,000 range. This golden cross could be what takes us back to the all-time highs. And the nice thing about that is if we do get through all-time highs, and we're far away from that now, guys, we're just really looking on a longer-term time frame here. If we break up above that 20,000, then we would have what's called a blue sky breakout. And with a blue sky breakout, price can run astronomically. And that's what happened before for Bitcoin when we went straight up like that. And remember, guys, if we are to ever go straight up again like that, use those trailing stop losses. That's one of the main things I can tell you as I've been reading about bear markets and cycles. Guys, a typical bear market could be anywhere from 1 year to 5 years, and that's not something that you want to hodl through. So when you see profit staring you in the face, don't ever be afraid to take it. But I like the fact that we've had our 20 EMA crossing over our 200. Next is going to be that 40, then eventually, hopefully, that 50. And what's been happening here, guys, ever since we hit that inverted head and shoulders bottom right in here, and it came out of a 6-month downtrend, we've been in an uptrend now. And what we're trying to do is turn that into an intermediate term uptrend, and then eventually the long-term uptrend. But when people say that these golden crosses or death crosses don't matter, I would beg to differ greatly. As you can see, when the 50 crossed down through this 200 and we had this death cross, we went from around $9,500 all the way down to $3,100, and that's how fast it happens and how aggressively. So when you see these crosses, in my opinion, you want to be in a position for that. Because when they happen, guys, the moves happen extremely fast. Just like you see here, once we crossed up above this 200 here, we really got things moving to the upside extremely fast. Now, one of the concerns that I have here for Bitcoin is the volume profile. Do you see how the volume profile is actually going down a little bit here as our price is going up? We want that continued swell of volume. Just like in this uptrend over here, do you see how the volume was swelling up? That's what we want to take place again. But what I liked here for Bitcoin was we also had this breakout from the 6-month downtrend here. We're just going to draw a rough trend line, but we broke out through that, and it was on decent volume. It wasn't on the most volume. I would have liked to see more. I always want to see more volume when we have a breakout, but it was enough volume as we broke out of here. We broke out, we tested the 200, we came back off that trend line, and here, guys, we'll sharpen this up a little bit now that we're closer, try to get as many touches as we can here. So we go a touch here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll go 5 touches there. But when we broke out through this on a decent stick of volume here, we actually came back and came close to back testing that trend line, which happens a lot. Then we got that next push up. But what we're going to need is volume. And as we continue to look at this here, the next resistance areas, we're sitting at one right now. So this area right here around 10,500 is going to be an area of resistance for me. You can see that's all this fight back and forth right in here. Then I would look up to around $12,000. And then up here, most likely around, we're going off the real bodies, we'll call it $12,900, $13,000. I like, for the most part, to try to go off the real bodies the best that I can. But you can see right now we're testing this area, this wick that we wicked up to before, and this was back in October, the end of October, around Halloween time. And after we saw rejection there right around this resistance area, we had that big retracement. So this is a big area for us here, and what we need to do is break up through that with conviction and then find support off that $2,500. But I like the fact that we're up above $10,000. Remember how I talked to you all about that in the last article I read to you? Bitcoin is only traded up above that $10,000 mark in its entire history over 10 years for about 172, 173 days now. And that's been it. So we really need to find support off $10,000 and not ever drop back below that again, in my opinion, because the bulls got us up above the 200 moving average, up above the 50. And for us, if we failed at $10,000 and we couldn't hold $10,000, which was a previous resistance over here that we're trying to turn into support, or that we have turned into support, we would not want to start dropping back through that. That would be an extreme sign of weakness if we do. So what we need now are these continued higher highs and higher lows to continue to come up in for us, and we need to make these nice, strong, aggressive moves to the upside. Now, in terms of looking at indicators, we're going to get into our RSI. For our RSI, we are up at 70. Remember, that is traditionally in that overbought territory. I like to take it to 80 for the cryptocurrency space because we can get so overextended. I like to go 80 and 20 for you guys who haven't listened to me before. That's just what I like to do. And I'm also paying a lot of attention to this trend line right in here. And this is going to be a rough trend line. Same deal, trying to get as many touches as possible. As we probably go right around in that area here. We'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. So these higher lows need to continue to stay intact for us. That's what completes the uptrend. Whenever you're in an uptrend, it's the higher lows that you're paying attention to. When you're in a downtrend, it's those lower highs that you're drawing the trend line off of. So that's something you always want to remember. But take a look how overextended we can get. We can get up to around 90 here on the 1-day time frame. So a lot of times when you think, well, okay, we're at 70 and the run's going to stop, it will continue to keep moving to the upside, and that just is the name of the game. So we're looking at that up around 70. I just want to show you a few indicators here in case we do start cooling down just a little bit, power back up, and find that strength off this 20 moving average right here, this 20 EMA, and continue a nice strong move to the upside. The next is going to be our stock RSI. In terms of our stock RSI, we're at 60 and 69 right now. You can see we did have a downside cross, but we're just going to have to wait and see. A lot of the times you'll see this, guys. We'll go up and then we'll come down maybe about 20 points, and we'll go back up again, and then we'll get a larger dump. So we're going to have to see if we do get another pump to the upside here, or if this is where we cool back down, calm everything down before we make our next move to the upside. And that's what I am anticipating, is another move to the upside. When we're in an uptrend or you're in a downtrend and it's continued for over 4 weeks, a lot of times that trend or that river will want to continue to the upside or the downside. Just like when we had this 6-month downtrend here, the bears wanted to keep that in control. We had the moving averages pressing down upon us. We had our trend line pressing down upon us. Now we have the opposite. We're in that uptrend and the river's changing. We're getting those golden crosses as opposed to those death crosses to the downside. And what I like to do as well, just to show you guys here, I always do all my technical analysis, and then I want to just look at this, just see if I'm aligning with what the technical indicators are on TradingView here. So if we go into this, we'll click more. And right now for Bitcoin on the 1-day chart, so that's what we're looking at, we have a 4 sell signal, we have a 6 neutral signal, and we have an 18 buy signal. In terms of the oscillators, we're at 4, 5, and 2, and that's because we are in that overbought territory on quite a few of them. And then the moving average is 0 for a sell, 1 for neutral, and 16 for a buy, and that's because we're up above all those critical moving averages. Like I said, I like to use on my chart because I'm trying to take advantage of these big moves. I like to do the swing trading or the short-term trading, not so much the day trading. But we're up above our 20, we're up above our 40, we're up above our 50, and we're up above that 200 moving average, and that's what we needed to see to be able to have the trend change. And when you continue to look down through here, this will show you relative strength is a sell. So like I said, overbought territory. Then you have your stock, that's a neutral. Then you can go down through all these. You have your MACD, which is a buy. You have your stock here, which is a neutral. You have your bull bear power is a neutral. Ultimate oscillator is a neutral. And you can actually go through all these and really take a look at them, guys, even down to the Ichimoku cloud, which I haven't gotten into with y'all yet. But there's so many benefits to using TradingView that I really like. And you can even take it out to the 1 month time frame and take a look for Bitcoin on the 1 month. A 0, 10, 14. It's showing a strong buy. In terms of the oscillators, we have 9 neutral, 2 buy, 0 for the sell, and then moving average as well. 12 buy, 1 neutral, 0 sell. So, you know, things are looking pretty decent here for Bitcoin. And what we want to do is continue this uptrend now, guys. We don't want to give it back up and start losing some of these critical moving averages, because if we do that, that's when we're going to get in trouble, and that's when the bulls will want to pull out, if that makes sense. When you lose the moving averages, just like we did over in here, that's when people or investors start, you know, getting out of their positions and start taking their profits. And a big thing that I like to use are moving averages and trend lines. When I see a trend line break and I also see us closing down through a moving average, so a downside break of a trend line, and we're closing down through like that 50 moving average, for me, that's when I like to get out of positions, take my profit, wait for a retracement, and then reevaluate the situation. And that's just what I like to do, guys. So if you get some from this video, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all being here with me today. Didn't want to hold you too long, but this is something we may continue to have these little retracements, but in my opinion, this trend should continue to the upside, and we should start testing some of these higher levels, some around that $10,500, that $12,000 range, that $13,000 range, and that's what we need to do. Break through each one, turn it into resistance. Break through the next one, turn it into resistance. That's what you're looking for. So God bless you all, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Guys, take care.